Creating dynamic content like video and podcasts can feel super overwhelming when thinking about creating all of that content. But they're super powerful tools in the marketing tool belt. And it's really important today to have a presence on YouTube, social media, and podcast platforms like Apple and Spotify. And so today I'm going to give you a behind the scenes look into part of our content marketing machine here at BuilderFunnel. Hey, if you don't know me, I'm Spencer Powell. I'm the CEO at BuilderFunnel, and our marketing agency has helped our customers generate well over $150 million in remodeling and custom home projects. This channel, BuilderFunnel TV, is where we share strategies, tactics, things that have worked for us in hopes that they work for you as well. Today, we're going to dive into a little bit of a behind the scenes of how to create content and content at scale or content on a regular cadence. And so I get this question a lot, which is, how do you guys produce so much content at BuilderFunnel? I think across everything we have going on, we have about 3 podcasts that go out a week. Sometimes it's more, usually 1 video a week, at least 1 email a week, and then social posting is probably close to daily or around that across all the different platforms. Today we're kind of zero in on the media part of it. So podcasting and video, because I think these are 2 of the most untapped areas for remodelers and custom builders, and they can be 2 of the most intimidating areas to kind of get started and get going, and then also stay going. I see a lot of people that will create a few videos and then that's kind of it for 2 years. And so anyway, I'm going to dive into our system and how we schedule all of this out. So right now for me, I'm putting out about 2 podcasts a week, 1 video a week. And then again, through our other contributors on the team, we have additional content that goes out. But I kind of want to talk through that because I feel like just that system alone, if you're an owner watching this or you're a marketer or somebody that might be getting in front of the camera to produce kind of the media side of it, this is a great system for you to use to produce content on a regular cadence, but not have it take up every single day or all week or get you super distracted. So let's talk about the 2 keys, really. The first one is batching, and the second one is systems. So let's talk about batching. So I record videos just like this one that you're watching now once a month. Sometimes it's a little bit longer than that, maybe every 5 weeks or 6 weeks, but generally about once a month, and block off a half day to do that. And so I typically am prepping for those videos, thinking of the topics, writing out bullet points, kind of scripting them out, and that usually takes about 60 to 90 minutes to do that for, say, 5 different videos. And then you block off a half day to do all the recording, the filming of producing that content and running through the topics and actually delivering the information. And so that is the system for video content, is basically prep and record. And then for us, we work with a videographer that is not in-house, but you could have an in-house videographer if you really said, hey, I'm looking to scale up tons and tons of video. But there are lots of great videographers that you can work out a great system to basically say, hey, I'm trying to produce content on this cadence, and let's figure out a way to make this recurring. And so typically in that arrangement, whether it's in-house or you're working with somebody that is a freelancer or something like that, they're going to assist with all of the editing and the production and the polishing. So a lot of times as the owner, you think, oh, how am I going to edit this or do any of that? And I would say, don't worry about that, and don't put that onto your plate. And so that's that piece of it. And then for podcasting, I do a similar system in terms of batching. And so I block off 1 day, and I dedicate that day either weekly or monthly. Sometimes I've gotten to a point where I will chunk off, like a half day a couple of times a month. And I either have outside guests come in, or I will record those episodes if it's just me doing education on a topic. But I always put them back to back. So if I have guests, I'm just going to put them scheduled back to back. Typically, each episode can be done in about an hour. And so between all of that, 2 full-length podcasts, 1 full-length video, all produced. It takes about 12 hours. And so you're looking at maybe a day and a half a month. And so it's going to take a lot longer if you don't batch it and it's kind of piecemealed and you're trying to, every week you're trying to figure out, oh, what am I doing this video on? And then you have to figure out how to get the video shot and then edit and produce, and then you're trying to launch it. And so it ends up turning into something that just isn't sustainable on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. So highly recommend batching. If you're just getting started and trying to get consistent, I would actually recommend starting with video and not podcasting. And I would just aim for 1 a week. Pick something that you can keep that cadence up. And so again, if you think about just taking that first step, it would be who's going to help film and edit and basically finish the product. And so once you've got that piece solved, then it's coordinating and scheduling. And then what's on your plate is basically, what am I going to talk about? What are the educational pieces? And then actually getting in front of the camera and producing it. And so then the next question and the next tip really is, how do you come up with all of these topics? Or what am I going to talk about? How am I going to come up with 52 topics in a year? And one of the best things that I can recommend to you is, if you're already in sales, then listening to questions that are coming through in the sales process. And that could be at any stage. The first call that comes in could be in that first meeting, could be in a second meeting, could be in emails that come to you after you've had the first meeting. All those questions are a gold mine for what you should talk about in your video content, because if people have those questions in the sales process, they're probably Googling those questions too, and then they're able to find you through that. They're typing in the question, they find your video content. Plus, even if they don't do that and they just find your website and then they see all of your content and they see that you've addressed all the questions, they can watch that content and then they don't even have those questions in the sales process, and you've already built up some know, like, and trust pre-sales process. So that's a super easy way. If you're not in sales anymore, you can just watch sales recordings if you do those over Zoom, or you can talk to your sales team about jotting down questions during the sales process and then having them feed those to you. So then you've always got a list of things that you can work off of. So those are the 2 tips for getting started. Next up is systems. So we talked about batching. Systems is really, what are kind of the moving parts here? And so again, I think this is where people get tripped up. And so one of the biggest places people get tripped up is, what kind of camera do I need? What kind of lighting? All of those types of things. And that's why I say, hey, just find somebody that is already great at that and has the equipment. They can come in, they can lead the charge there, and then you just focus on what is the content. And so that kind of eliminates that front end barrier to, I got to buy a camera, I got to buy lighting, I got to try to figure out how to do this myself. Nope, just find somebody that's already a master at that and they can own that piece. You record, and then again, somebody's already good at editing, producing. You don't need to learn that new skill as an entrepreneur. Find somebody that's already a master there. And so you really just compress all of that to, hey, I just need to prep and record the content, and then now you have finished content that comes back to you. And then really the last step is publish and promote. And so that's the last pieces of the system that you need. And so it could be you, or it could be somebody on your team, but you want them to be able to upload the video to YouTube or upload it to your website or post it to social media. Then you want to promote it through maybe your email list, share it on social. And that's basically the publish and promote end of the system. So if you can just find somebody that will help with the equipment and the editing and the production, then you've almost got the whole thing put together. And then you just own the education piece and the topic and getting in front of the camera. So batching and systems, and you can start very easily with minimal time producing regular video content that will start to separate you from the competition. It'll start to build know, like, and trust with your prospects before they even enter the sales process. And as always, I hope these tips help you take another step forward in your content marketing journey, and we will see you next time here on Builder Funnel TV.